Hey everyone, this is 𝗬𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗦𝗢𝗡 and I am Krissy. Today's video I'm going to be going over Suburbia and Suburbia Expansions. Let's get to it. Video. Why can't I get that? No. I'm gonna redo that. So Suburbia is for 1 to 5 players, and you're basically buying tiles to build up a city, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most population in their city is the person that wins. So let's go to the board and find out how you play. I have everything all set up here because I just finished filming the playthrough for this game, and I thought I would leave it up so that you could see what a finished city looks like. So we'll just start off by going over what you get at the beginning of the game, which is your player board right here. Now the nice thing about this is that it is reversible, so you can either build up your city or you can build your city down. And you also start on the reputation track and the income track. Now, what those are is certain tiles that you buy will have different benefits on it, whether you're going up the income track or you're going up the reputation track. And then sometimes it'll just give you population, which are basically points towards the end. So you'd be able to move up this population track right here. So that's basically what you're doing on a turn. That is your action. You have money. You start the game off with $15. So you do have money to start purchasing tiles. And when you purchase those tiles, you give the bank the money, and then you can place your tile in your little city that you're trying to build up. So now to purchase a tile, you need to pay the cost up here at the top, as well as the cost right here for the actual tile. Let's just say I'll go with an option that's not on the table, a water tile. You can take any of these tiles right here and you can flip them over and it is a water tile. Now you do not have to pay the cost on the tiles for water tiles, but you do have to still pay for the cost that's at the top. Now let's say I wanted this tile because maybe I don't want somebody else getting it because it's a pretty good tile. You can use this one and flip it over, pay the $2 and use this as a water tile. Now, water tiles are a great way to collect some money as well, because once you place this here, it's going to trigger this effect right here. So it's going to be $2 for each of these adjacent locations right here. So basically just not other water tiles. So this would be $6 and you would collect that from the bank, the $6. And then for placing this one here, if it would trigger any of the other tiles surrounding it, it would trigger these little effects right here. Now, because it isn't a house, it's not going to trigger anything. This one isn't a die tile, and this one has no benefit right there. So that's how water tiles work. Now, let's just say I had flipped that and actually paid the cost of the tile plus the $2. It would look something like this. So you would flip it over, well, not really flip it over because we didn't buy a water tile. So you would keep it flipped the right way. So placing this one in here triggers this. So you will go up 2 on the reputation track for placing this tile here. And then for the little benefit that's here, it's $2 for every school. We're actually right next to a school because the icons match. So then you get $2. So that would be taking it from the bank again. You get $2. That would be it for this one. Now, unfortunately, it's not triggering any of the benefit for any of these ones because this isn't a house, one of these little greenhouses. That's not that. And this is not a fancy little die, which is from one of the expansions. And so after I go through the whole board and how you play and everything like that, I'll go through what the expansions add to the game too. So now you've taken that tile and you have to shuffle everything down here. Now, once you're doing that, at the end of your turn, you're going to be collecting your reputation. So that is a 2, 3, I'm so short I can't see. That is a 3 on the reputation track. Then you're going to come and you're going to collect any income that you have, which this player has 0, so they are not collecting any money from the bank. However, they will be going up on the population track because they are sitting, their reputation tracker is at a 3, so they would go up 3 points. Then another tile would get flipped, and just because, like I said, this game has already been set up and played through because it was for the playthrough on this game, that will go up after this one. So first you would start off with this stack here. There's stack A and stack B and stack C. So now what triggers the end of the game would be this one right here. You have one more game, so you would just remove this one and it's just for you to remember that that's the last one, and then that one would get flipped. And that is how you cycle through those tiles and how you would come to the end of the game. So that was purchasing and playing down a tile. So once this person has gone, then it would be the next person's turn to go ahead and do that. Now, all while there are some goals on the table, and you want to make sure that you are hitting some of these goals. Now, those are your personal objectives, and they remain flipped over so that nobody can see them. But there are 2 other goals on the table that are flipped up so that you know what you're working towards for the end of the game. So those would be right here, and if you play with 3 players or 4 players, you would add more of those goals. So one of the expansions in the expansion pack, I'll call it an expansion pack because it comes with 5 in a box. So you get these new ones right here where it is a bonus and a challenge, and these you would just take one random and place it on top of the stack of the B's, and you would place this one on top of the C stack. Now, once all the A's have gone and you need to start on the top of the B stack, then it would get flipped over, and anybody who would win this right here, they would win the bonus. And same thing, once you get through the B pile and you start on the C tile, then you get the challenge, and whoever meets the criteria for this would gain the benefit. So if you notice this star track right here, this is the Suburbia 5-star expansion, and it comes with these right here. And some of these new tiles right here have stars on them. And so every time you purchase one of these tiles with stars on it, then you go up this track. And whoever is ahead on the track will get the gold first player star. So before you were just passing, or not passing, I guess, because you got it. So at the beginning of the game with just the base game, it comes with a first player token, and you just keep that for the whole game, and that's how you remember that it's the first player. But now with this one, with the 5-star system, it all depends on how many of those tiles that you're purchasing, and then you're rotating the first player. So something else that's pretty major on the board are the border tiles, and that's these right here. So you have to pay the cost for these, and there are some benefits. Oh my gosh, short. So there are some benefits on these too. So whenever you place these, you have the option of placing up to 4 tiles, similar to this, and then you gain the benefit that's on here. And then if anything, like a good benefit is going to be here, or a negative like this one, if it's next to any of these tiles, then it is you're subtracting 1 reputation from your track here for each of those tiles that it is touching. Now this one, for each of either the greenhouse or the office building, you would get 3 extra populations. So you'd be able to go up there for each of those tiles that are on there. And then you get the benefit up here, which is similar to these ones right here. So this one is going up 3 on the reputation track. And there are different ones, and every time you take one, then it does get replaced, just like whenever you're using the market down here. So along with all of the expansions, you get a whole bunch of new tiles. You get some that have the moon on here, which are night tiles. These are like the nighttime tiles. And then you have some with these little icons here. And these ones are for the 𝗧𝗓𝗏 and the 𝗏𝗏 tiles. So there's a few different ones that are coming out. And then of course the ones with the stars too. Now if you come across a really good tile, you can always utilize it again by placing one of these investment markers on them. And once you do that though, because you aren't purchasing anything from the market, you would need to remove one and then just replace it that way to just keep the tiles moving and circulating. So this one would basically trigger this tile again. So for every adjacent greenhouse, then you would gain 1, you'd go up on the reputation track. So this one is by 4 of them, so it would actually go up 4 on that track. So there are a lot of tiles on the board, there are a lot of symbols, there's a lot of everything going on the board with this one. So if you do get a little confused, there is a player aid that goes over everything that's on the tile, and it goes through all of your actions and which order that you should do them in. And that is basically Suburbia. So first thing, there are a lot of tiles in this game, obviously, since it is majority a tile laying game. So with all the expansions come a lot more tiles, so the variety is there for sure. Now the only thing that I would say is whenever you're playing all of the expansions, which I'm not even sure if you're technically supposed to do, maybe just play 1 or 2 at a time, but For this video, we decided to play all of them, and we have played a couple times before this too, just to get a feel for it and to review it for you guys. But yeah, I will say that you definitely don't see a lot of those tiles, like the specific ones, especially for the challenge and the bonuses that are on top of the B stack and the C stack. You're definitely probably not going to get any of those, just because with this anyways, we just mixed up all of the tiles and just picked for the 2-player. So I think, what is that? 14 tiles for the A and 12 for the B and 17 tiles for the C stack. So you're really, out of all of them, you're not seeing too many, so you're probably not going to get any of those bonuses. But the better chance, I guess, would be getting your personal goals, just because there's like better tiles that are coming out, right? And just the chance that you could get some of those out is a lot greater whenever you're playing with all of the tiles. But everything else that comes with the expansions for these, like the 5-star works really well. It definitely gets the like the first player rolling, right? So it could be anybody as long as you're buying those tiles, and some of them will come up obviously, because I think that one adds a lot more tiles with that 5-star expansion. So you'll definitely be getting more of those tiles, and therefore, you know, it's going to be a fight between who's going to be the first player and who's going to be the second player. And then another thing with that is that whenever you are the first player gets the bonuses whenever there are a tie. So that's something to look forward to in the game whenever you're playing with the 5-star expansion. I really enjoyed that one, probably the most, I think, other than adding the extra tiles, right? Everybody always likes seeing new tiles and the new artwork that's on there, and just reading different bonuses, because some of them do have different bonuses too, and every time you trigger them, right? These border tiles too, they're just kind of like capping things off. But if you have the money for them, because sometimes they do cost a lot of money, but the higher ones, they have better bonuses for them too. So if you're looking to just kind of like get a jump start ahead, these are probably a good way to go about it, just because like this one has a 7. You go up 7 on the reputation track. And as long as you can get it so that you're not being too penalized right here for the benefit on this one, which is not really a benefit. It's more like ouchie. But anyway, as long as you can get the most out of these border tiles right here, these ones are good. And you're obviously not going to be capping off everything, so just choose wisely when you are playing with those ones and buying them. Our games with Suburbia usually take, you know, the same as the box says, about 60 minutes. We can get a game in at 60 minutes. Since we started playing with all of the expansions, it's added just a little bit extra, just because we're taking a couple extra steps, like with the 5-star expansions and things like that. So it would take just a little bit extra of time whenever you're playing with all of the expansions. But I think all of the expansions really work well together, because the tiles are adding the same thing, but the other expansions, like the 5-star expansion, is adding just like an extra track, and then you have the border tiles. So they are still tiles, but they're different tiles, so it's not really taking away from the game, and it's just kind of adding like a little bit of extra stuff in there for you. But I'm pretty sure next time that we'll just be playing with a couple of the expansions, because I would love to see a game where we actually get some of the bonuses and the challenges and gain those benefits from it, because we haven't so far, just because there are so many tiles. So I think that's what we'll do next time and see how that goes. But overall, Suburbia, even just like base game, is just kind of fun and easy. You're just playing the tiles down, you're paying it for it. There's like, it's all pretty much strategy playing this game. There's not too much luck. I mean, just basically which tile is going to be available and if you have enough money for it. But other than that, really, you kind of have to think through this game. I know my last game, it was terrible. It was like 127.56 for me. And I was like, do I even game? But I think you guys will be happy. I did a little bit better in the upcoming playthrough on it. I won't give anything away, who won or anything like that, so you'll have to watch that when it goes up. But anyway, overall, like, I do like this game. Just a couple of quirks when you're playing with all of the expansions all together. So if you enjoy tile laying games, if you enjoy like secret bonuses, trying to work your way up and things like that, then I would suggest Suburbia. That might be a game for you. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next video. Wait, what? What is happening? What is happening? I don't understand this.